What's going on? My name is Cole Connor. I am an artist and entrepreneur, and today I'm going to show you how to design YouTube thumbnails in 2021. Let's do it. Honestly, let's just jump into the computer. I just want to show you how it goes down. I wanted to use this thumbnail that I did for a video on music marketing because I really liked it and it wasn't super complicated to make. We're going to go to canva.com. If you don't know Canva, you should, especially if you're new to design. There's so many things that you can do with Canva, and maybe I'll make a whole nother video on that, but for now. So I went to canva.com and it takes me immediately to templates, but I'm going to go home because I like to go home. No, okay, all my designs. So you can see that it has, all these recommended sizes. They can do GIFs now and videos or GIFs, whatever. But anyways, here's my design, my music marketing in 2021. So I broke this down like step by step of how I, designed it. I didn't go to school for graphic design. I've just been doing graphic design for 5+ years, and I've learned what is aesthetically pleasing in my opinion. So, consult your professional graphic designer if you want, but if you, just want some tips on your YouTube thumbnails and how to make them as good as possible, this is what I would do. I don't always start with a photo of myself. Sometimes I take a screenshot of the video. Like for this one, I may take a screenshot. What's really important for YouTube thumbnails, in my opinion, is you enhance that screenshot. So I took this picture of me. Obviously, I wasn't recording. I put the camera up a certain way, made it look up at me, and it was kind of like music marketing, that where do you even begin? So I was like, just kind of did it like that. I made my skin look a little better, make it pop, and it's got the black along the outline, so it looks pretty good. So you don't have to go that far as to take a photo, but what you really should do is at least go to Lightroom. So I'm going to go here to Lightroom. I pulled up the photo already, and I've downloaded presets. God, if you're brand new, this is probably so confusing. But, I can help you. If you have any specific questions, just let me know. But, so I have these presets that already do all these things to the photo. I imported the edited photo already, but you can see, that one's crazy, obviously. But, I could do, I could still add that edit on it. And it, sharpens it, makes it a little extra saturated. If you're a photographer, you obviously don't want to post this photo on, your Instagram feed necessarily. But for YouTube, it makes it pop when people are scrolling, and that's really important. So I start with this. So then I was like, where do you start? This is music marketing. What do I do? What do I do? I like these spaces around the edges. So boom, this was my next step. Music marketing, where do I start? One thing that I've learned with design that's really important is you have things like, I'm pointing at the screen, but it's like you want this and this to be in line with each other. It just looks aesthetically pleasing. And I use my fonts. My go-to fonts are Montserrat. I use that with my brand. If you have a brand already, you should have colors, you should have fonts. I have white and this Carolina Panthers blue, and then Montserrat, and then this one, which is rock salt. I always like to incorporate rock salt, and then I sometimes use this one called phosphate, but I wanted it to be a little more rugged and, in my opinion, creative, so I chose to go with that. What's important, so in Canva, so it's super simple. You go to text, so let's just delete this for a second. Boom. I don't want to delete it all, so let's just delete the top one, delete it, text, add a heading, boom. Then I say music marketing. It's going to start with this Lee Gothic, but no, I'm going to change that to mine, which bold, I don't know if I had bold or not. I think I did have bold. So boom, let's just bold it. No, let's not bold it. And what I did was I made it a lot smaller, put it up here. Then you click this button here. And what's cool about that is you can change the line height and how close the letters are together. So I just spread the letters out until it reached this point. Boom, let's move this over a little bit here until it's the middle. Go back, stretch it out a little more, and boom, pretty close. Music marketing, where do I start? Now, what I always do to help it stand out, and it kind of gives it this little shadow effect that you can see on the where do I start, is I duplicate it by going to the right over here, duplicate, change the color to this blue for me, position it backwards behind the first one, make sure it's behind it, and then use the arrow keys right here. Go up, up, over, up, and make this little shadow thing. Boom. So I did that with each of these. I chose to make the music marketing small and the where do I start a lot bigger because it wasn't in the title, and on YouTube sometimes you want to say something else in the YouTube thumbnail that's not in the title, so I wanted the where do I start to be big. Boom. First step, done. Second one, I just wanted to add something underneath it that kind of gave it some depth. So I went over here to elements. Really cool about Canva is you can use elements. Like, look, you can see all the recent ones that I've used. But all you have to do is type in a word. They have so many different ones. This is why I prefer Canva to Photoshop, especially for stuff like this. If it's not super detailed, not some super big design job or anything. You just type in elements. So I think I did music. Yep, boom. And then here's lots of different options. And I obviously chose to go with this one, and I just changed the color. Now, I do have to have a pro membership to get stuff like this, but for me, it's worth it because I'm always doing YouTube and always doing, different design stuff. So I just changed the color to blue, and I thought it hit really well with the shadows and kind of outlined, like almost like a line, emphasizing it. So I did this discussion with Pat X, who is a hip hop artist, and we talked about music marketing. So it made sense to have his face on it too. But because it's my YouTube channel and I'm hosting it, I made my thing the main picture. Depending on who the person is, maybe you want to make his picture the main one. But what I did to do this, which is really cool in Canva, is I go to my uploads and I uploaded this photo of him that I literally just screenshotted off Instagram. And then I did this. Cropped it. Look how easy it is to crop it. Boom. And then this is amazing, guys. Check this out. Effects, background remover. Check this out. Boom. Remove the background. Just like that. So cool. So yeah, that's what I did there. And then, so you see this little outline right here around the edge of him. Just like I did with the where do I start, I duplicate it. I throw the same effect on there. Let's see. Boom. Effects. Background remover to make sure it's removed. Now, sometimes there are little issues with the background remover. I think they're still working out the kinks, but that worked just fine. I go back, and then I went to probably one of these. It's the duotone effects. Here we go. Yep, something like that. And then I did the sea blue, I believe. It's going to turn the whole thing blue. Like, these aren't super complicated things to do in Photoshop, but it can be very overwhelming if you're new. And then I did the same thing and just kind of move it and make it this little shadow thing. Boom, just like that. Dude, it's so easy in Canva. And then once you start learning all this stuff, you're like, wow, there's so many things you can do to make it just a better thumbnail. This thing was about music marketing, the video was. So I wanted to get some creative elements that kind of look like it's coming from my shattered phone right here, and it's almost like building as it grows. So it's not, I mean, super easy if you just kind of, it starts to come together, and you're like look at all the space over here at this point. What do you do with all that space? And you think of ways to fill it up. It could be anything, but I could probably do like YouTube, cloud. No, it's not gonna work. Oh God, I don't know how to find this exact one. Oh, here we go. Just typed in YouTube, and this cloud was here, but then I clicked the cloud, then it gave all these recommendations, and I was like, oh, yes, that's it. And so, just make them different sizes, just literally moving them like this. These, you couldn't change the colors, but I was okay with that because it was just kind of this, greenish aqua, and I was cool with it. I would rather it probably be the blue, but it's okay. Next step. Okay, so you see right here, there's like a lot of empty space here, which you don't have to fill up all the empty spaces, but for this particular thumbnail, I did. I wanted there to be money. I wanted the money to just kind of be like falling from the sky to represent like this is how you can make money. And when people sees it, they're like, maybe I can make money too. Like this will show them that I'm trying to teach them how to make money. So one key element is that when I typed in money, I didn't really want like this fake money. Like I thought that looked really lame and silly. I wanted real money. So this is where maybe it gets a little more complicated. Money PNG. And yep, I think this might have been it right here. And I just downloaded the PNG. Boom, save image as. Make sure it's a PNG before you download it. This one is. Boom, that doesn't always work, but so it was just this clear image of money, and then I uploaded it directly right here, boom, clicked it, moved it over, yep, just like that. And I moved it behind the clouds because I don't want it to be, you know, covering up all these clouds. I just wanted to be in the background, like money's just flying everywhere. So that was really cool. All right, and the last step, which I did kind of mess up, was this. Look at this. Ooh, didn't even notice that, did you? I created another layer of myself so that it could give it some depth. And this just looks really good with thumbnails. So I don't know exactly where I had it, but something like that. So pretty much the back, like it makes it look like where do I start is between the wall and me. It's like it's actually like 3D or something. And then my hands are also covering this, so I'm not being covered. But look at the difference of just, so like that's it. And then like the dimension that it adds to have me in front of it. Pretty cool. All right, guys, I don't want to take too much more of your time. That is how you design thumbnails in 2021 on YouTube. There's tons of different ways you can do it. There's tons of different designs. If you want me to go in more in depth on certain things, feel free to let me know. But I really wanted to break down, I really just wanted to show you how the thought process goes with designing thumbnails in general, especially for YouTube. And that may be complicated to start, but I think if you break it down like this, you have one image at a time and you go through it, I think you'll get the gist of it. And the more you practice, the better off you'll be. Yeah, like I said, my name is Cole Connor. Please make sure to like, subscribe. I'm literally trying to bring as much value as I can to you guys. So please subscribe and tune in if you want to see more stuff like this. Yeah.
Every day I wake up with a vision, cooking in the kitchen, ain't no fucking in a mission, like yo. Shaking up the city with my bitchin', sold in the building, and the motherfucker fizzing like whoa. Cold won't stop till they get that gold, cold won't stop till you sing my song, all the way home.